Hi, Lisa. Hopefully you'll jump on in a second because that'll be really good. But I'm going to go through a couple of things with you. It's really interesting, everything that you brought up. Now, this is the thing. You don't need to fix yourself to create something that you love. Okay? This is where everyone gets so stuck, including me. I got stuck in the last, 18 months because I believed what my partner was saying about me, which was that I was a problem, that I needed more healing. Fuck off. I got mind fucked like I never have been before. Brought out the worst of me. But I have to accept that. I have to love that. I have to understand that. I have to view it. I have to forgive myself because I wasn't forgiving myself. So this is the thing, right? Here's some sabotaging identities that are not true. And everyone goes through them. Number 1, not good enough. Number 2, not worthy. Number 3, insignificant. Number 4, I don't belong. Number 5, I'm not capable. Number 6, I need to be perfect. None of these are true at all. And everyone faces them. Now, success isn't personal. Right? It's stepping into a creator. It's making a decision that I'm just going to create anyway. Now, I'm going to use this as an example. Look at Donald Trump. You just watched the inauguration. He didn't go and fix himself. He just went and did it. Look at Elon Musk. He didn't go and fix himself. He still struggles with it. But he still went and did it. Almost every creative don't think they're good enough that are world superstars. Lady Gaga cries before she goes on stage because she doesn't think she's good enough. Everyone goes through this, and the biggest difference is that these particular people are deciding to create. They're just creating anyway. Fuck it, I'm gonna create, right? So here's a really interesting aspect. Your consciousness is always listening. Always listening. Always listening, and this is why we always have to be so careful of everything that we say. Okay, so here's another aspect. Behavior is the highest form of communication. Behavior. Behavior is the highest form of communication. Now, I'll give you an example. You decide that you're going to have a relationship. So you go and spend time working on you to make you a better person, but you don't go on any dates. So you're not actually putting yourself into a position to get someone. Yeah. You want to have a business as a coach. And what the invisible instruction is, if you're not taking action on it, and I know you are, but there's an invisible doubt to you. And that's the sabotaging identities, right? That's what keeps coming up. There's a resistance to it. How can I do that when I'm struggling? I spoke to you about this before, that there's coaches out there that are struggling in their lives and they're making a lot of money because they just decided to do it. There's coaches out there that, I know one in Townsville, which is about 5 hours drive away from here. She's a multimillionaire. And she doesn't stop freaking showing that she's dealing with all of this emotional stuff. Oh my God. And I'm just going to go and do it anyway. She gets on my nerves a bit because it's like, oh, dude, like you're projecting your vomit, but people like it. The people that like it are the ones that like to project their vomit, right? But in essence, she's being authentic too. And you can't diss that. But she's also manipulative at the same time. That's where I get stuck. I don't like the manipulation, using that as a manipulation to get people to work with her. Being open and honest. See, you said something about, you're the sad story girl. Sharing stories is not about sharing the pain. Yes, it's about sharing the story that you went through pain, but it's sharing that you broke through that pain. That's what sharing it about. You're going, this happened, and I rose above it because I chose to work through it and do things anyway. There's another thing that you said, which was, I don't believe in personal development. In your 20s, you didn't believe, and this is probably still there, you believe, and I see it in all the dialogue, I don't believe it works. So you're sabotaging, if you will, you're sabotaging the aspect of knowing that it works because the silent instruction is saying that it doesn't work anyway. So nothing's going to work when you don't believe it's going to work. It's simple as that. Simple as that. It's not going to work if you believe it's not going to work. And there's nothing I can do. All I'm going to say is go and do another fucking event. Go and do another event. Go and do another event. Go and reach out to someone else. Go and sell your product. Stop changing. The reason why the 10-year vision is so important is because you did it without resistance. It's actually what you love. Now, here's the other aspect to it. One of the hidden instructions, because as children, we grew up without having a choice, right? I've got some notes here about this. See, as children, we aren't allowed to be free thinkers, right? And this is so true. We aren't allowed to be free thinkers, right? And that's like, you can't eat that before dinner. You can't stay up late. You can't do this. You can't do that. They're not free thinkers. And unfortunately, what we do is carry that into our adult life. And then we wonder why we've got these blocks. Because we've been trained that we can't have what we want. Can you see the dichotomy there? We get told that we can't have what we want from a very young age as a child. So we're told we're not allowed to be free thinkers. We can't have what we want when we want it. And now we struggle as adults to break through the very aspect of what we want and what's holding us back. So when you do something that you love, right? When you decide that you're going to choose to do something that you love, and if you have to give yourself reasons of why you love it, then you don't actually really love it because you're trying to convince yourself that you love it. It's like, I did acting and worked in film and theatre for most of my life because I loved it. No other reason, just because I loved it. I didn't care if I didn't get money. I just went and did things. Did things for free. I didn't care. I was getting experience. I was loving it. I just loved the experience. I was getting paid to do it. Getting paid to do my dream. Awesome. What I love. There wasn't any resistance. I just chose, I love this, I'm going to do it. Not because of any other reason, not because I want to be famous. Because then I'm trying to convince myself why I want to do it. Why do I do coaching? Because I love it. I love it. I just love it. I love looking at yourself as an example of going, you realize that you're doing all the choices here. They're all your decisions. You're not willing to continue. Like, remember, everything is about faith. But if you believe, again, if you believe that it's not going to work, no one's going to pay that. No one's going to do this. No one's going to hire me because of the way I am. What do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen? Because you already decided that it's not going to happen. I can't do anything for you. You already decided it's not going to happen, so it's not going to happen. So why are you here? If you don't want it, don't pretend. If you want it, believe it. Have faith. Just be yourself. But let people know there's a path to get through this. I know. I've been challenged consistently. Unless you get a coach, you don't get your ass kicked to actually see what you're constantly saying to yourself that's holding you back. Oh yeah, I'll do it myself. No, you won't. Take a long time. Because you go round and round and round and round in circles. No one achieved anything without getting guidance to be able to do it. Just looking at a couple of notes here. This is a really important one. When you choose to decide to do what you love, you do it your way. Your way. You become you. Don't try and copy anyone else. Follow your map. It's your energy. Don't try and be like anyone else. Don't try and think that you should emulate someone else. Do it your way. Yeah, sure, there's guidance in strategies and business and stuff like that, but do it your way. Influence, because there's an end, there's a light. I think one of the most common things that I saw in the women that you interviewed was, I don't have the confidence, I feel stuck, don't really believe in myself. It's everything that you're going through, isn't it? And I can't stipulate enough how important it is to recognize that you don't need fixing. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing wrong with you. You just have to decide. And I talk about this all the time, right? Look, you've gone through the story extraction. You understand your story really, really well. You understand and things keep coming out, right? just like your horse from years ago. That's a door in the corridor of life. I don't even know if you went and watched the corridor of life. That's a door in the corridor of life that you haven't allowed yourself to open and let the energy flow through. Because there's nothing behind the door. It doesn't exist. You're creating it to exist because you're not willing to forgive who? You. So you don't move forward. So you go, oh, I'm healing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing these action steps, but you don't believe it. Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders. 60-something years old. Right? Didn't go and fix himself with all his problems. Just went and sold something. A couple of thousand times before someone said yes. There is evidence all throughout history of people not fixing themselves, healing themselves, and just being successful anyway. Just doing it. Just being, making a decision. Well, that's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this because I love it. I've got a special recipe on this chicken. Nobody has this recipe. And it is awesome. And I love it. I love eating it. I'm sure that's what he did. Jesus Christ, this tastes good. Oh, yum. Man, I could do, everyone should be eating this. Right? I love taking people through the story of extraction. Why? Because they see themselves on a deeper level and then they connect the dots and they go, fuck. What's your recurring in a dialogue? Go back to that. Go back to the recurring in a dialogue and have a look at what the dialogue is. That which is realistically your sabotaging identities and part of your invisible instructions of what you're telling yourself. So make a decision to make it different. You can still be in pain, emotionally, hurting, and still create. I've done plenty of performances where I remember doing a short film as one of the lead characters. I was so sick. Like with film, you can't just call in sick. You got to be there. I was meditating like in between takes because my fever was so intense. I was trying to elevate my energy constantly. I was meditating in between takes, reserving my energy, but raising my energy frequency, right? Just so I could do the take. So I could be in that energy, be in that character, right? And then as soon as the take was done, back down on the floor. You do it anyway. You decide that's what I do because I love it. So, you've jumped on later and there's still a few things for you to listen to. So, if you've got any revelations, share them with me.